One of the most mission critical areas and roles in your business as a contractor is project management. Today, I want to talk about some project management best practices and kind of outline that position so that you fully understand what it takes to be a project manager in the construction business. Hopefully, this video helps you identify weaknesses in your project management process so that you can shore them up and have a better project management experience for your clients. Let's jump into it. The project management role is one of the most complex pieces in the construction business, especially in new home construction and larger remodeling projects. That position has a lot of moving parts and complexity. Your project manager is ultimately responsible for planning out the entire project, often building all the material lists, coordinating all the resources, which includes labor, subcontractors, materials, and the financial management of the project, as well as actually executing the project and getting the client from start to finish. This person usually is the main point of contact for the client during the construction process. Here at Exco Custom Homes, the information flows from sales to design to project management. And once the project manager takes over the project, they're there from kickoff planning stage all the way through the warranty stage with the client. So let's talk about planning and preparation for a project. During the planning and preparation stage of a project, it's important for the project manager to be involved. They're going to be able to spot things that are going to be down the road during the design and planning process so that they can determine what materials, what subcontractors are going to be best fit, and overall be kind of in charge of making sure that the budget is realistic and that they'll be able to fulfill on those promises and that contract. This part of the process for the project manager includes clear objectives, resource allocation, timeline building, and overall budgeting of the project. A great project manager during this process is going to be analyzing risk for errors and problems to come up based on the actual site. They're going to be involved in going out to the job site before you started building to make sure everything's going to go according to plan. Project manager's second responsibility in the process is effective communication. Here at Exco Custom Homes, we prefer a centralized communication model. We want the project manager as the main point of contact during the building stage of the process. All information from clients should go to the project manager. All information from the sub should go to the project manager. It's up to the project manager to decide and allocate the resources of the designer's time or bringing in an engineer. They really are in full control of the project. By having one point of contact, we clear up communication and make it way more effective by having them coordinate all assets during the project. The next responsibility for a project manager is resource management. The project manager is going to be responsible for coordinating the subcontractor schedules, coordinating in-house labor, and coordinating that all the materials are going to be there for these guys to be able to do their jobs and produce the project. There's a lot of moving parts in that. There's a lot of different vendors, a lot of different subcontractors, and a lot of people relying on you making sure that everyone has their ducks in a row and coordinating the schedule properly so that things will run smoothly. The project manager is also responsible for predicting enough time in the project for weather delays and other things that always come up during a project. The project manager has to be in constant communication with all of these people to keep them updated and let them know where things are falling out in the schedule, keeping people updated way in advance of when it's time for them to be there on the job site so that those different companies they're working with can allocate their resources properly. This is the most important part of the process for a project manager. Correct resource allocation is going to lead to projects running on time and on budget and happy clients. This is also where any errors and mistakes and oversights are going to lead to a trickle effect in your schedule that impact everyone down the line. All of that really falls on the project manager's shoulders to make sure the project runs smoothly. The next responsibility for a project manager is quality control. It's really up to the project manager and their team to verify that everything on the site is being built according to the design, according to plan, that the correct materials are there. They're the final step before the client gets to look at the project and determine if they like it, and it's up to them to catch any errors and reduce the size of the punch list at the end of the project. A good project manager is visiting the job site regularly or sending an assistant project manager to visit the job site and checking in and making sure everything is going according to plan. These steps along the way are going to prevent future issues and future schedule delays because they're staying part of the process and catching things as they arise. It's easier to make corrections as early as possible in the process by catching them early instead of trying to come back and fix it after finishes and other subcontractors and vendors have came and done their part of the process. It also falls on the project manager's shoulders to make sure that everything is ready for inspection. They're the liaison with the building inspector. They're going to be the person that has to meet with them and make sure everything is built according to code. So it's important that the project manager has a good understanding of the building code in your area. The next responsibility for a project manager is monitoring the project and making adjustments. The project manager has to stay constantly involved in the process. They have to be communicating with everybody involved, monitoring where we're at, not only on timeline, but also on budget. It's going to be up to the project manager to allocate money correctly during the project so that everyone's getting paid on time, as well as the company receiving the cash flow it needs to be able to pay everyone on time. Then, when things fall off and get out of whack, it's up to the PM to kind of fix things and get things back on schedule. By monitoring constantly and doing weekly updates, weekly meetings about the timeline and cost control, project manager is going to be able to make decisions on where we need to save or where we need to spend more to speed things up so that we can get back on time and on budget. It's also up to the project manager when we're way off budget or changes have happened to be the point man for all communication on change orders with the client. So that leads us to the last responsibility for a project manager, and that is client involvement and communication. Your project manager is the main liaison for the client who's purchasing the work. It's up to them to make sure that the client feels well communicated and taken care of. Even though this is only one of the 6 responsibilities of a project manager that we've spoken about today, it really is one that can eat a lot of time. Really need to have clear systems and processes so that your project manager knows how, when, and what to communicate with the clients. It's also going to be mission critical that when any issues pop up, that they communicate immediately with the clients. And it's also going to be mission critical that they communicate all change orders as soon as possible to clients, get those signed, and collect those payments. At our company, the project manager is responsible for all the client invoicing. That's a very important step in the process and in the machine to make sure that cash flow keeps coming in so that we can keep paying the bills and taking care of all of our vendors, subcontractors, and in-house labor. At the end of the project, your PM is going to be the one that walks with the client, does the final punch list, and makes sure that all the little details that the client is concerned about gets taken care of. As you can see from these 6 responsibilities we've outlined, your project manager really is the most important person during a construction project, especially a large one. For us, with new home construction, it really all falls on the project manager's shoulders. That's also why hiring this person is one of the most important hires you're going to make as a business owner. Coordinating and finding good project managers, you'll be able to streamline and make a lot of this as easy as possible. It's important that they have experience and a good understanding of all the building processes in your market. To recap, effective project management revolves around clear planning, effective communication, efficient resource allocation, quality control, continuous monitoring, and client satisfaction. These 6 components make up the primary responsibilities for a project manager. Improving these 6 areas of your project management SOPs will not only increase your efficiency, but will lead to a much better client experience and reputation for your company. If you found this information useful for your business, be sure to share this content with another contractor you know so that it can impact their business and improve their project manager's performance. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you next week with another contractor tip video.